Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. It's the Cosmic
Welcome.
Adults.
We're here. We're doing another episode.
We are glad to be here, obviously. Even
Big time.
excited, exhilarated, to be more exact.
Hmm.
And
You could say that.
I think Mercedes had some announcements. Important, logistics. I use that word a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Little PSA. Just follow us on Instagram at the Cosmic Adults. If you would like to be aware of when we are posting episodes and all that stuff, especially because we are going to start having more guests on.
Hmm.
And when we have guests on, it's not going to be every Sunday. So, yeah, tune into our Instagram at the Cosmic Adults.
Yeah, guys, a lot of cosmic goodness coming our way with a lot of interesting people all across the globe are going to join our podcasting experience. And yeah, be prepared. I think we have a think tank as well. We use that.
Can you please explain to me why you call it that?
I don't know. It's so stupid because of that. But it's
Okay.
not stupid as well. Guys, I'm not putting shade on TikTok, but it's kind of like, every day we got a new freaking social media thing, and we're like, oh, it's that new shit. Oh, it's the most important thing. Yeah, you gotta
Hmm.
get on it. It's the most important thing. And,
Yeah, not so much.
it changes every day, basically. Instagram one day is the most important, then, it changes and shifts. And it's funny to me. And I'm kind of like sarcastic about it, but I know
Hmm.
it's important as well for, let's say, if you're doing a business and you want to get more outside and you want to get your ideas and thoughts to a bigger audience. Obviously, it's important, but
Hmm.
let's not be too serious about things, and let's make fun of social media, because I know everybody's like, oh, social media, so TikTok, and I'm like, yo, yes, it's important, but chill the fuck out as
Yeah,
well.
I will second that. I'll second that motion. Yeah, we in fact do have a TikTok. It is at the Cosmic Adults also. So if you're looking for us, you'll find us, and it's the Cosmic Adults.
Nice. Simple, guys. Easy and simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay. But we
big
have
time.
also other things to discuss in this episode, what
Yeah,
we're doing today. So, are we
big
doing,
time.
we're doing the regular hour episode?
We are. We're very organized today.
Very organized.
What's the deal? Is there something going on? Oh my God. It's
I,
quite a day today.
I mean, it's a little bit of that Pisces energy. I think it's coming
Oh,
in a lot with the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction. And we're recording um, the week of the 10th, from the 10th to the 16th.
16th?
Had to look. I had to look, guys. I'm prepared otherwise. I'm prepared otherwise. I just don't
Oh
do
yeah.
good with, sometimes I'm just like, somebody asks me what date it is. I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
happens.
You're like, ask me about the purpose of life
Yes,
instead.
is much better questions.
But I thought you like the kind of like more organizey type stuff.
Depending on what and when and where. Sometimes, right now, and usually when we do this, I get into my like, the energy starts flowing, and I'm like,
Right.
I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever,
Oh.
TikTok, account handles. I can't. I just like, even right now. Okay, maybe I'll explain it to the audience right now. I feel like the energy is moving through me. So whenever I would say the crown opens up and the energy starts, really, I don't know, piercing through me. It opens up those big doors, and those big doors very often don't like to do many very small detailed things. They like to speak about the bigger things. and so I'm already getting into that space, if it
Well,
makes sense.
that's a good thing.
That's a pretty darn awesome thing. But guys, let's do our best. 10th of April, 16th of April. This is the week we're actually covering.
Yes, this is what we're talking about. There are big things, I feel like, this week. April itself just feels jam freaking packed. Like everything. I mean, okay, so like when we're recording this, we just had, what was it, the new moon?
New moon.
Yeah, we just had the new moon in Aries.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty bananas. I don't know how you guys were feeling, but
Totally.
I felt pretty freaking insane. I felt like I was going insane. But
Tell me more. Please tell me more.
To
That
be
sounds
fair,
interesting.
I actually feel like I'm going insane like probably 90% of the time. So
Okay.
it wasn't really like out of the ordinary, but like I definitely felt like a lot of my old habits were starting to like come to the surface, and I had to deal with a lot of stuff internally. I mean, always, but it seemed to be yeah, just in a different way. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I feel like if I describe it, it'll make it small.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can describe it my own a little bit.
Please do.
Quickly in a couple of words, because guys, the new moon was in Aries, so it's a lot about our masculine side, our, you know, we can say ambition, drive, focus maybe a little bit less, drive, ambition, wanting to be the best, those sides that we usually associate with the masculine energy. And I'm not saying a man and a woman. I know, guys, chillax. I'm not going into that right now. I know how much that will raise eyebrows.
But that has been such a topic that has come up during this. Hey, have you noticed
Yes,
that? Okay, we're leaving that to the side.
But we can bring it up. But like the masculine and feminine energies, we each have those energies inside of us, and it's a matter of if we decide to use them. Just in my, very quickly, two cents. But in this new moon, the focus was more, let's say, on the masculine side, the wanting to be the best, wanting to take action, wanting to create the world. But it was happening, if you go back to our previous episode, we talked about the Chiron aspect, and the Chiron, when it's there, it triggers the wound, and when the wound is there, it's like almost like the pain from those masculine experiences, and the ways we can't use it, the energy properly, come to the surface as well, for us to look at, for us to use. For me, it was a lot about that. It was like I was looking at my business, I was looking at what I'm doing in the world, how I'm even, a protector for a man. This is a man thing, more to be a protector of your children, of your wife, of your or whoever your partner is. And for me, those were the topics that were really coming up, and I was seeing where I wasn't doing the best of work, where I wasn't the best of, masculine man, and I had to look at them. And now I'm let's say I've devised a bit of a plan to get better at these things, and it's now after new moon, start working on and start implementing, start putting them in action. That's the way the moon cycle works, guys. New moon, you understand what's not, or before the new moon, understand what's not working, and it's not, it needs to leave, and then after new moon, start doing the new things.
Totally. I feel like I'm out of breath after I feel like I just ran. Whoa, yeah, you're right.
I went a little bit too fast, maybe, but yeah.
No, it was good. It was just like, I think it's just energy as it's moving fast. But it reminded me of like a lot of the realization I would say I had during this time was like, it was like when these things were coming up, it was like I was reminded that it is because there's a wound, and it is because I have to look inside, right? It was like, it was like, sort of that realization hit me. It was like, okay, I'm in these old patterns because I haven't looked at that thing yet. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot to do with like, oh God, dare I say it?
There, of course, you have to.
Oh,
It's
it
been
was a
built up so
lot.
much.
I really put it on a pedestal. A lot about dating apps and like being on the dating
Oh,
app
nice.
and why am I on that thing and who the fuck are all these guys and like.
Please, I think this, Mercedes, you need to share because you know a lot of our audience is going to be relating to this part. So share, please share as much as you can.
There's nothing really much to share. Just like to me, what I want to say is like in this experience of being on the dating apps, it's like the bare minimum is not even there. Like to know the difference. Like I was just talking to this one guy and was like, thank you for having good grammar. Like to know the difference between two and two and your and there and there. Like that's so simple, and some people never spent time learning that basic communication skill. So in the grand scheme of things, I don't want to put too much power in words, let's say, but like it drives me crazy. Like it's so minimal. And then also like there's just weirdness. Like some people will ask me to go for coffee without even like any conversation before, and I'm like, how do I know? And this is one of the things too, because there's also a lot of safety concern that kind of came up for me too, where I was like, whoa, like am I actually safe in this situation? Because it's like I saw this quote or something. It was like, when guys go on a date, they're worried about how attractive the girl is, and when girls go on a date, they're worried if the guy's gonna kill them.
Oh.
Yeah, it's heavy, man.
Oh, I just wanna maybe, from my end, this has never been true. I've never been worried for a guy, and I'm a guy.
Oh, from your perspective?
I'm literally,
okay,
guys.
But I think you're built a little different.
I am, guys. I'm literally. I have a fiance. We're getting married. I have a kid. You know,
Yeah.
Let's say I'm ahead of the game, ahead of the curve, right now. But like, not ahead. I guess the ahead isn't the correct word. The correct word is, you know, I'm in a different space. But let's say when I was dating, which is eons ago now, like 6-7 years ago, I can't remember. But like, I never worried about what oh my God, will the girl be attractive? I never, literally never worried about that.
Okay, well, okay.
I can explain it. I can explain
Please.
it, guys.
Please.
I will explain this. I think it's a really big part of having depth and having emotional depth and having a maturity. Because, guys, if you have that inside, there is not a real big... this can be taken a little bit extreme. I will explain everything. But there isn't a lot of... You don't really need to worry about being attracted to somebody, because the attraction, actually, a lot of the attraction and the emotion and the feeling happens within you. So if you know, if you see another person, most likely, if you want to be, you can be attracted to them. And I think, I hear a lot about this thing on the internet and I'm in dating things. I'm not just attracted to them and that's it. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. If you have more depth, if you have put in the effort to know yourself on a more deeper level, you can be attracted to almost anybody. There are... yeah, go ahead.
100,000 billion% agree. Yeah.
And I think, guys, if you're listening to this and you're kind of like, oh, what about this and that? Yes, there are some extreme examples, obviously.
Of course, there's always going to be outside the lines and the fucking fringes and whatever, yeah.
But the main concept is, there is a possibility and an attraction and being in a relationship and being attracted to somebody and loving somebody. This is an everyday endeavor, and especially if you're in a long-term relationship. Like every day I get up, I'm like, okay, this is my wife. This is, or soon-to-be wife. I'm doing my best. I'm, putting in the effort. I'm loving, and this is, it doesn't happen on its own. I would say, guys, as well. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, so in my bio on one of them, I put, it was like, so on this one, you can comment on certain things, it's whatever. So anyways, in there I wrote, it's like, what's the characteristic of a great relationship? And I put being best friends. Because like, to me, like, I want to find like my number one homie that I give a shit about and they give a shit about me. And it's like, just great. And this guy comments and sends me a message and he's like, you're wrong. He's like, the friend zone exists for a reason. And I was just like, I'm not even gonna bother talking to you about this. It will be an absolute waste of my energy. And not only that, like, who are you to tell me that I'm wrong?
This is the problem with the internet, I would say. I will explain it. This is what the dating coaches and things do, because they are teaching these guys to, you know, get laid basically, and not to get into a deeper committed relationship. Probably there are coaches out there that are, you know, teaching that as well. But this is a different game, guys. And if you're not a friend with your spouse, and I know I think a lot of coaches say, you know, dating coaches, romantic, I don't know even what they're called. They say that, you know, you shouldn't be a friend with your spouse, you know, it takes out the sexuality again. Not true. Not true at all. And again, and you know, the friendship in a long-term relationship is extremely important. You can't do almost anything if you're not friends before. And the sexuality, again, sexual attraction can be built, can be, you know, and again, in my experience, I know a lot of women probably will, because women need so much, you know, that building up to that sexuality, and they need more of that. But in my mind, again, sexuality is also a place where I can just turn it on and off if I want to. And it doesn't mean that if you share with another person that you can't have this sex, you know, guys. Doesn't mean it's a very simplistic way of putting it, I would say.
If everyone who is listening here did their homework and listened or read the book that I recommended, Ramtha, and the elixir called Love, you will know exactly what we're talking about here.
I haven't done that homework, unfortunately.
Well, but you've done the homework inside. You have this knowing, right? But the book basically explains all of this, all of it. Yep. So if you're curious about what we're talking about and you really want to build a better relationship with someone, definitely read that book. You will have your mind freaking blown.
And guys, you know, depending on what you're doing and what kind of situation you are in, you know, the friend zone exists. In a way, it does. I've seen it in the real life. So if you're like out there gaming, ladies, and you want to, you know, do the... Yeah, I mean, I can get your point and I can understand what you're saying. But if you want to build something deeper, you need to get past that. And if you want to, you know, stronger.
And that's like where I think there's this thing where it's like where I was talking about, like the bare minimum is hard to find. Like, just because you're nice, that's not a personality trait. That's the bare minimum. Being nice is a given. It's not like, well, I'm a nice guy. Well, are you interesting? Can you hold a conversation? Like, do you want to talk? Anyways, maybe I'm slightly triggered here because I'm just like, I can't even talk to anyone. Like, I went on there to talk to people. I can't even talk to anyone. I'm like, you guys are, yeah.
Maybe you should also
not everyone, not all of them. But...
Maybe you should also add on your bio, I need you to hold a conversation with me. That's a prerequisite.
A prerequisite.
I have an example of what I did actually when I was on those dating apps. I posted a very, I would say, pretty vulnerable thing, and I said, like, you know, I want to have deep conversations. I want to do this. I don't want these shallow things. And the people who I dated during that time, you know, they were deeper. They literally, because they weren't, because let's say the shallower or whatever kind of superficial things weren't attracted to me after I did that. You know, it changed.
I think that I'm probably just going to bail on it. And I'm just going to wait for whoever my partner is to like knock on my door and just be like, "Hi, I'm it." Oh, great. Okay, now leave because you're creeping me out.
Oh my god.
Give me your phone number and we'll talk. Leave your application at the door.
So good.
Just kidding.
I enjoyed that one. And yeah, of course you can do that. I mean, I know people, I think I know people, remember some people who have found, you know, long-term relationships in those apps. So make your choices, guys.
I feel intuitively like it's just gonna happen organically. I just don't, you know, I really, what I want to do is I really want to put a lot of energy into myself. And I feel like being on these apps and whatever and all this stuff is kind of just like a distraction from whatever it is that I need to do to, or reveal inside myself to find, or to bring in the person.
Nice.
Yeah, I just think I'm gonna back off. I don't need the stress in my life.
I mean, it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. Yeah. It's not, you know, your energy is going somewhere, guys. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's gonna start going in to me.
I feel like good segue. I think it's a good segue.
Right on. Yeah, okay.
So the 10th of April. I will preface this a little bit from my end because, guys, this week that we're about to cover, this is a lot about Jupiter and Neptune conjunction. So as Mercedes focuses maybe a little bit more on the daily energies and the words, I will bring in more of maybe this conjunction. We're going to feel it for a while, but, you know, especially strong this specific week we're covering.
Exciting.
It is. There's a lot of good stuff. There's some things we need to be aware of, like scams. I'll just go right into it. God. Scams will
yeah. I have gotten texts being like, "Hey, I have you in my phone. Who is this?" And I'm like, well, I don't have you in my phone. And if I don't have you in my phone, that means I don't want to have you in my phone. I'm not going to be replying to that. And I'm pretty sure, well, I did reply. Okay, I did reply to one. Okay, I'm not that genius for now. But yeah, and then it kept going and it was like, "Oh, you seem like a great person," and and like, "Oh, what's your address?" And I was like, "Wait, whoa. What? No. So yeah.
Guys, if this starts happening, you know, anywhere, I mean, you don't have to have a Jupiter-Neptune conjunction for this to happen, but right now we're literally in this thick of it where these scams can really take you by the storm and hit you, and there's so many things happening, and a lot of things can be seemingly like a veil pulled over the truth, and it's like a lot of mysticism that is maybe not the good side of mysticism can be also in the streets.
And these scammers are seeming to get a little better at it. They're getting better and they are evolving. It's kind of creepy.
I think it's a good segue into, you know, something more optimistic about this conjunction as well. And maybe after that, Mercedes can give us a word for the 10th as well.
I certainly can. Go ahead, Ian.
Because this conjunction starts a new cycle. It's like a 12, 13-year cycle. And it's happening in the sign of Pisces. It's already all this humanitarian, spiritual kind of seeing good things in humans and bringing healing to the world as well. It's a lot about that. So I'm expecting a lot of, you know, illnesses cured. Definitely all sorts of new medicine. That is good medicine as well. Yes, it can be sometimes, you know, the V can be enhanced, but it can be a lot of, like, the cancer can be healed, I think, during this cycle. Or at least something some sort of medicine, some sort of healing practice comes out that is really like doing good things with cancer. So, and people being humanitarian, helping animals more, helping, you know, helping people in general more. So that's, to me, this is one of the bigger sides of this, like I said, the positive, optimistic side of this conjunction, or one of those.
I actually also, I forgot to say in the beginning, but I did have another little announcement thing that like, okay, so like when we're doing this podcast, like also if you're listening to it, Ian has his own YouTube account and everything, and he does tons of like deeper astrology videos. So when we're talking in here, we're giving you like the brief overview. If you want to look, if you want to learn and know more, go visit his YouTube. What is your YouTube?
You can find it with Ian Altazar Freedom Astrology.
Just put that in on YouTube.
That is a very good way to find it. And I do beginner, I do medium, I do advanced, so I do mostly everything. So guys, yeah, thank you for that shout out. Appreciate it.
Well, of course. I have yet to watch your video for April, but I am going to. But yeah, I know that there's a lot in there. So like, yeah. Anyways,
yeah, there's like a 3-hour video.
Yeah, it's a long video. So, but like yeah, just if you're wanting to go deeper in all this stuff that we're talking about here, like in the astrology aspect of it, then definitely that's where you want to go.
Thank you.
You bet. Is there anything? Or shall I segue into
your word?
Segue away. Okay, so like the guidance was actually for the 10th, so Sunday, so the day that this podcast is coming out, up in smoke, which is interesting.
I actually like those words generally for the entire conjunction, because it can blow smoke up your ass. And your mind as well, and up, I would say, because it can Jupiter and Neptune can just bullshit. You know, we talked about scams and swindlers, and it's just, you can just bullshit yourself as well, because it can seem so high and mighty and beautiful and positive. Yes, the other energies right now are quite difficult, let's say, in the general scheme of things, but it can still make it seem like too optimistic, too good to be true. You know, whenever something right now seems too good to be true, like somebody's just saying you, oh, just send me money, I will send you even more money. Don't do it.
Has everyone watched Inventing Anna? Because there are very good quotes there that could apply to this.
I don't know what this is, so you get a point.
On Netflix.
You get a point.
Netflix. No, it's new. It's not an old. No. I get 0 points. 0 points.
Thank God.
It's a new one. It's on Netflix. It's Inventing Anna. It's like about the German Aries, the girl who like tricked everyone into believing she was like this rich girl, and she actually was not at all. But she like tricked a bunch of New York socialites, like high up.
This happens a lot, it seems.
Anyway, well, they made a Netflix thing about it, and it's really interesting. But I think that because of Neptune like being so foggy, and like I'm just like super familiar with that energy, I think there's a lot of guidance here to allow the things that are foggy. If they're foggy for a reason. So press pause, press pause. If it's for you, it's definitely going to be there. You will not be able to avoid things that are for you. If it's foggy, chances are it's foggy for a reason. Like, ask for clarity until you know for sure that it's right. And this is an energy I have to deal with all the time. So like I'm pretty all right with it. I still get, obviously I did text back that number. I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah, weird. No, not interesting at all, actually.
Okay.
So that's for the 10th, this Sunday, up in smoke.
Let's go to the 11th. And I'll just keep on saying things about the conjunction because they apply constantly, and Mercedes will keep doing the words and her guidance. And the good thing also about this conjunction, I will do a positive and a negative both at the same time.
Peaks and pits. Did you ever do that in school? Like
peaks and what is it?
Peaks and pits, like going around a circle and everyone shares their peak for the week and then everyone shares their pit.
No,
like
never.
A good thing that happened to you that week and
never.
A crummy thing that happened.
And I went to a private school as well, so I don't know what was happening there. We didn't do that at all. Yeah, just raised in cotton candy and rainbows. No. It doesn't mean, guys, it doesn't, if you go to a private school, it doesn't immediately mean nothing bad happened to you. Nothing bad happened to you in your life.
I actually went to a private school. I went to a Catholic private school.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good at all.
Oh, it's good times.
Maybe
Just
we
clear
can
my
do a
throat
separate
awkwardly there.
separate episode on that little dinger.
Oh, the dinger. Okay, go. What are the good things? What are the...
Like spirituality is, let's say, a big part of this as well. And you can see your spirituality and spiritual experiences heightened. Your in tuneness to the spirit, your connectedness to the spiritual realms definitely will be opened up, and you will have more experiences here and there. Generally feel more connected, more information, easier to get information from the gods and the other realms. The negative side here is spiritual cults, and you know, these kinds of spiritual maybe leaders who are blowing smoke up into your butts, but it's I couldn't resist. I had to say it. I had to. Oh god. Are we going to get banned from like from
No, we're not. Oh my god.
So be careful, guys. I mean, spiritual cults happen all the time, and you know, especially if you're in a place of victimhood and wanting to be saved by someone outer than yourself, there is a chance that you might be attracting something like that. But you know, be careful with this and use that energy to connect yourself to God, to spirit. Yeah, go ahead.
Nothing. My headphones just cut out for you saying whatever you said. I was literally just trying to connect again, and I was like, "Oh my god, I want to know what he's saying."
Okay. I just kept saying about spiritual cults and these types of things to more trust in yourself and
yeah, see clearly.
See clearly about this. It's easier for them to right now to bullshit you, basically.
Okay. And isn't there something about like you don't really know that you're in a cult, like other people tell you that you're in a cult? So if someone's telling you that you're in a cult,
I think it's a pretty good indication.
Spend some time thinking about it.
Don't take it at face value, but tune in.
And like up in smoke, I think is also like really important because it's also smudging. It's also like having a fire and allowing the fire to pull everything and just let it all go. I definitely like love a good campfire. Yeah. There's a lot also with that, so just ponder that. For the 11th, rolling into the Monday, serendipity is actually the word, and I really love the guidance there. Serendipity is like a happy occurrence. Serendipitous. And I always have really loved that word. Like, it's even fun to say. Serendipity.
I think it fits in well because with this conjunction you can really feel that at times.
Yeah.
Serendipitous.
Embrace your inner Pisces, everyone. So like I feel like the overall, you know, let's look at it from the astrological point of view. So we start with Aries, we build all the way around to Pisces. Pisces is number 12 in the thing and da 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 da. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Concern
So
for my friend here.
we have to. This is the what happens during the Cosmic Adults podcast. Somebody's having like a spiritual opening. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah. It's just energy. It's
Just
fine.
energy.
So we're going
Fucking
all the way.
cliche.
So I feel like in every lifetime we live always as some kind of thing. So we all have Pisces in us. So like, where is that for me in this lifetime? Very prevalent, very on the surface. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Embrace
Nice.
the inner Pisces, especially if you're fire. Embracing that water. What does that mean? Does that trigger you? Is it hard?
It triggers me a little, but your triggers are your responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't that something we talked about way long ago, like in the beginning, when it was like, okay, so I'm water, you're fire.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to be, what was it? Like I was gonna have to step back and you were gonna have a lot of patience.
Exactly. It's like, to me, it's very often astrologers say, water puts out fire, and I don't know what they say about the other thing. But for me, it's a lot about, the water person teaches the water or fire person patience. And Mercedes pointed that out to me really at the beginning. And it has been true for us. And the fire person usually, still pushes, ignites a little bit of that fire as well. So it works both ways, and both people can actually, help each other. And work in tandem, not, just one puts out the other. Oh, she's fire, I can't do anything. Because modern astrology goes into these spaces. I don't like it at all. It's like, oh, it's bad, come on, man, find a way to work with it, grow up and, find ways to do these things.
Well,
stupid.
Wouldn't it be a terrible podcast if we were just fighting all the time?
It's constantly.
Everything you say, oh no. No. Actually, also you're dumb. Suck. Oh my goodness. And we're back.
And the 12th.
Okay, so after a very serendipitous day, which is interesting because it's also 11. 1-1. Okay, yeah, we're liking these numbers. Anchor for Tuesday. And I feel like, okay, so never mind. I was gonna tell a story, but it's gonna totally expose someone, and I can't do that.
That's good. That's good.
So,
friendship right there.
I don't want to. Yeah, that's not my bag. I get a point there because that's Austin Powers. When you didn't even.
And I can't remember Austin Powers quotes at all. I think I've seen it. I've seen all of them many times. Freaking can't remember those.
Yikes, bro. Yikes. One of my dad's favorite ones is in the beginning when he's like, when he comes back out of being frozen, and he's like going around the casino, and he's like, there you are, and the guy's like, do I know you? And he's like, no, but there you are. Dad always says that to me. He's like, yeah, I'll call him and he'll be like, there you are.
That's cool.
I know you. No, but there you are. That's my terrible English accent.
That is good.
Attempt. Yeah. Anywho.
There you are. That's,
Wow. Okay, moving on. Anchor. So, okay, lots of imaging. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna ground.
You're in the ethers. Are you in the ethers?
Okay, well, I think so. I'm just like flying. Okay, energy's moving really, really fast. So, yeah. Okay. Anchor. Should take my own advice. The thing about anchors is you can also always pull them up, right? So I think there's a lot jam-packed in this word if you really sit and feel it on that day about anchors. Ships drop an anchor to stay where they are, but then they pull it up to move on. So there's a lot of things in like what is holding you back, what can you let go of, can you pull that anchor, can you cut the tie, can you move on? The answer is yes, if it's in your heart to do so. Um, and then, yeah, just like a big grounding. And then also with anchors, like they're in the water and they're holding on to the ocean floor or the lake, the floor, right? And it's so interesting because like how often do we actually get to see the bottom of a lake or get to see the bottom of like any body of water? Like pretty much never, unless like cameras and stuff go down there. But like what a cool experience. That's only a new thing that's happened in the last like what, 20 years that we've actually seen the ocean floor. Yeah.
I want to say a
So
little bit further back, but I think I understand the points you're making. Yes,
yeah,
it's
a new
amazing.
revelation. It's actually, if you really sit and think about it, it's incredible. But yeah, like I'm thinking that there's like the deep dregs of the crap inside of people's minds that are gonna be needing to be examined. And I think the point is to pull up the anchor and move on.
I want to say to this, with the conjunction, we have a tendency with this to have blind faith and even be naive, and there's a veil over ourselves, and we can be anchored to some old beliefs, maybe some new beliefs, very firmly anchored, and have that blind faith towards them with this conjunction as well. And I would recommend against it. I would say it like that. and you know, are some of those things, you know, visualization is great and having that side and creating that in that way, but is it even attainable? Is it, you know, can you do it? Can you achieve it? Can we as a society achieve it? I think these are the questions I would ask during this little bit of a blind faith kind of, and even if you have a blind faith towards something, someone, or you know, an organization, institution, I would also doubt that here.
Well, I think a lot of people sort of never actually take the time to question that because of the blind faith. And also, imagine having, I mean, we've done it, right? Where it's like we've questioned everything and we've had to die a million bajillion times to be who we are now. Like, and what I'm referring to is however many identities and who the person who I'll speak for myself. Who the person I thought I was inside has had to be released so many freaking times. So identity for me is so like I don't even care anymore because I don't want to let go of anything anymore. I just want to flow and be who I am, who I actually am inside, not these like weird beliefs that I've kept or whatever. You know, let's say like I just referred to how I went to a Catholic school. Like I was raised Catholic, and then I looked at that and I was like, yeah, not a Catholic for sure, not. So then I moved on and I no longer identified with that anymore. But some people have not ever looked at it because it would mean too much change of identity, and that could be detrimental to who they are, who they relate with their family, who they relate with their friends. But I will ask you, what's more important? Your relationship with these people that believe something that's like not even really I don't want to fucking go out and say all these crazy bold statements, but like people who believe in stuff that you don't actually truly believe in, that you're acting. What's important?
Ask this question, guys. This is a really big one because in the answer what Mercedes just said that will come to it, it will open up a lot of freedom for you. And you can also ask, do I want to be free or do I want to be anchored into these things? Oh, nice. Feel like that was good. Tied it in nicely. I'm
I think
really
even
proud
though
of
it
myself.
wasn't like, even though it wasn't like a quote, I think you should still get a point. Like, because it was beautiful.
Like a gold star.
Actually, speaking of, I did order a book and it actually arrived today, and it's called The Meaning Book, and it's by Ian.
Oh,
and
nice.
it arrived today, so I actually got to read some of your poems, and I just said that what you said was poetic, and it reminded me that I actually got your book.
Oh, thank you very much for ordering. That
Of
warms
course.
my heart so much.
Yes, and it's what was the one that I really liked? Just Dive Deep or something like that.
There is one that is called like that, I think, in the book, yes.
Yeah, and it's like you realize how cold you are at the end or something. I haven't memorized it yet.
Oh, I don't have them memorized as well. If I had, I
Anyways,
would be superhuman, I guess.
his book is really good, and I've liked what I've read so far. It helped me to go quite deep. There's a lot of energy in it when I read it.
I'll just have to accept these amazing things said to me. I just want to savor this moment, guys. Savor this with me. I want to, because there's so many things we don't accept, and I want to accept really these appreciative, kind words. Just truly appreciate you saying that. My heart is glowing right now.
Yay! Glowing is a good word. And actually, I want to kind of, because it sort of brought a lot of thought for me as well in ordering your book too, because I was like, thinking about my past, and I've always been an entrepreneur. I said that, I feel weird. Entrepreneur? Whatever. I've always been a business person, and started my own business. I hated having a boss. I was like, frick, I'm done. So when I started my first business, and it's a pretty mainstream thing to do, I shared it with everyone I knew, and I was like so pumped about it, and I thought everyone would be like, yeah, and supporting me, and freaking no one did. I think two people shared the thing, and I was just like, wait, what? I thought, huh? And then all these people were asking me for discounts. Oh, do I get a friends and fam? No, motherfucker, you're gonna pay more, actually.
Doubles, fucker.
I'm doubling it for you. No, I'm just kidding. I love my family, but also it was just like, holy crap. I started to actually realize, oh, the people who are gonna support me are actually my real soul family, and not these random people who are in my life because of circumstance, essentially, high school or some kind of extracurricular activity or whatever, right? And then, as we've evolved, I don't know if you've found this in your business as well, but as we've evolved, it's sort of I want to support people, because I've been there where it's no one shared my thing that I'm doing, and I'm when I work with people, I pay them more usually than what their rate is, because I want them, especially people who are doing a good thing, I want them really to succeed. And if I have extra in me to do that, I certainly will.
I think what Mercedes here pointed out is extremely important. And guys, if you're in a business, if you started a business, and if you see other people in your business and you're supporting them and enhancing them, making them bigger, isn't actually taking away from you. And I think a lot of people, especially I see this in spiritual businesses, in astrology, I think a lot of people don't share other people's stuff because they're afraid that it will take clients away from them, it take attention away from them, attention, money, kind of equal. And it's not that at all. It's not true at all. And sitting here with Mercedes. Mercedes has been extremely supportive of what I've done, and I'm doing my best to be as supportive as what she's doing because, and it's not just because we're friends and we're doing things together, but because I know the depth and the commitment she puts into when she is working with you. So I just want to say, if you haven't gotten a session with her, I do recommend it. And for me, it's like I get to hang out with her and appreciate that energy almost very often. So I'm kind of like, yay. But it's a really important thing to also appreciate others and see and endorse the people who really put in the work and care about you. And I think Mercedes is one of those highly in tune people who does that. Yeah.
Thank you. Much
for show.
For show. I just want to make the world a better place,
It's a small task.
Just like it starts with one, right?
The 13th segue. 13th.
Oh, I feel like I'm like getting all hot now. It's like it's so it's like what you just said earlier where you're like, oh, I just have to accept compliments. I just have to accept what this person's saying to me. It's like, okay, thank you. I will say thank you instead of, oh my god, freak it out. 13th guidance, cosmic guidance is sweet.
Sweet.
And first it reminded me of the movie Dude, Where's My Car? Where it's like, what does my tattoo say? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet. But also like sweet tooth, like desserts, cupcakes actually came to mind. Just sweet things, sugar.
We are going through a Venus in Pisces transit, and it's coming to it's coming closer and closer to Neptune, so that can be it, obviously. But I want a couple of things I want to talk about. I guess the conjunction here, sweet. It can bring. It can be that all these addictions that we have, we can justify them. God wants me to have it, Spirit wants me to have it, the universe wants me to have these sweet things. But also the negative side of Pisces is drugs and alcohol and escapism, computer games. And
more is not always better.
More is not always better here. Play a little computer games, but people get really stuck into them.
Oh, it's like when you're doing it, do it. Don't just like, have your donut and like wolf it down. Like eat it, like enjoy it, savor it while it's happening. Be present. And that's a Wednesday. And Wednesday is actually a very good day, as we know, because if you guys recall Joe from the previous episode, him and Cindy hold the meditation, and Cindy's going to be coming on soon, right?
Yes. She is, totally.
And we're excited for that. And that meditation's freaking awesome. So if you
couldn't recommend that meditation more, I would say.
Yep. That's how me and Ian met and became homies.
Home slices.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, super good. And anyway, so if you want to join that, join that. We'll
the
give you the deets.
14th.
If anybody has any questions, by the way, email cosmicadults@gmail.com. Send us a question. 14th. Okay, this is actually super interesting because it's also moving in with the 13th. So it's like, I feel like these days are like overlapping in a way. Bake. Bake. And like, there's so many ways to use the word bake. Like bake in the sun. That's something that we say in Canada. I don't know if you say that, but
a little bit,
I was out
I
in the
guess.
sun and I baked.
Yeah, I think we say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Whew, jeez. God. Energy is freaking flying through me. Okay, ground, anchor. And baking a cake. And the thing that really came up with the cake is like baking a cake is actually a series of chemical reactions. And then that took me really deep into thought about atoms and elements and how our world is put together just by those things, and how actually it's a gigantic freaking miracle that we're even alive and put together the way that we are.
Amen.
Do you think people are gonna have a lot of like bigger thoughts during this whole like?
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely more bigger thoughts, more expansive. You know, this higher higher oneness type of energy, seeing everything as one. More globalism, more spiritual gifts opening, more spiritual events, more spiritual workshops, more spiritual festivals, and you know, thanks to at least some of them, you know, the mind will open it, but it'll be also like it will happen on its own as well, so you don't have to go into a cult, guys. You can it will happen. it
Really have a look at the offers that are coming towards you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what do I want to say about this more? I don't know. There's so much I want to say about this, but we have 2 more days, so I'll keep some of that for the next days.
Keep some of your wisdom for them days. Okay, so Friday the 15th, the guidance is strong. I feel like we are going to be having a very strong Friday. So one of the things that I've sort of recognized over time, and this is something we've talked about before, people say the word powerful a lot, and they kind of just throw it around like it's cilantro. I say strong when I think of something as powerful, like strong energy. Like I don't say powerful energy because that doesn't feel right to me. I say strong, like because it sort of becomes more expansive in a way. Like I've done a fair few amount of ceremonies, and so whenever I'm in my prayers about a ceremony, I'm always asking for a very strong ceremony, not a powerful ceremony, a strong ceremony.
That's an interesting observation, I would say. First instinct is to agree with this, and I think I understand what you're saying, because powerful can be, you know, taking power over others and wanting power over others as well. I'm not saying it's always like that, but it's the line is thin there.
And you want to make sure, just to be double sure that I'm not doing that, I'm changing my way of thinking of it, because I so strongly don't want to ever be like that, you know? I don't ever want to disempower people. I want people to be empowered, and I want everyone to think for themselves.
Which is a good segue into what I want to say, because like Mercedes says, thinking for yourself, but like now Jupiter Neptune conjunction, it can even increase the negative side. It can increase mental illness, craziness, you know, these weird, being in these la lands, these weird dreamlands where it's hard to grasp reality, and where it can be a little too much. But the positive side of that is creativity. Increased, a lot of creative ideas, creative thoughts from these other realities, from realms, can come through as well. So make sure, not control them, but, you know, be open to these energies. And if you start getting creative impulses, use them, you know, put them into work, put them into a painting, put them into a poem, put them into something creative that you can use, because otherwise you can float there, and you know, I'm not saying mental illness will immediately come. That's more likely that you're going to see it in news more so, but you know.
But I think that's also a really big like Neptune thing, right? Mental illness and stuff. So like when we're saying be open, we're also saying use your own discernment.
Totally. You need to. Really need to. It's like with this it's like the image I'm getting right now is like a person being like holding on with one hand to the tree, for example, on planet Earth on the ground. One hand is on the tree, but everything else is being dragged into the ethers, the realms. This is the conjunction. It wants to drag you into those realms as well, but you need to have at least something on the ground to navigate this and to make good use of this, because you know, spirituality and spiritual energies, they need to be on the ground for people to use them, otherwise they're somewhere floating there.
Which is why we have bodies in the first place. Yeah, and this is something that everyone, you're here for a reason. It's like I don't know how to
maybe that's it. You're here for it.
The thought in my head, like it's like everyone wants to go in or go out. But the deepest thing is in, going in, because in is out. And once you can really grasp how deeply you can go inside, everything shifts and changes. You reach a whole different, it's a whole different game.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, go ahead.
You got to go in for the right reasons, though. You know, you got to do. Just I can't stress enough how deeply you have to check your intention. Every thought counts. Every single thought counts. You don't get to escape the little fantasy there. Ooh, no. You don't get, that's in you. You have to look at that.
Yes.
So I guess that's coupled with a little warning there.
I mean, it is. I would say that's a good warning. I think most people don't, because a lot of people are doing so many things outside. They think going inside is so much work. They don't want to do it. But once you start doing it, a lot of those things that you used to do outside don't make sense. You don't want to do them. So the inside game turns out to be so much more important and so much more better, I would say. This is a personal judgment. And then after that inside game is somewhat solid, then the outside game switches entirely, and they actually want to be outside as well, but just in a different way.
Yeah. These are deep things, and Ian's the freedom astrologer.
I am, guys. I'm the freedom astrologer.
That's his shtick.
That is my shtick.
It's your thing. It's his bag.
It's my bag full of tricks. It's my bag of tricks, yeah.
That was the same Austin Powers quote. They
was
were
it?
the same one, and so I will give myself a point. Okay, and then moving into the Saturday, the
Austin
16th.
Powers.
Yeah, you probably should watch it. Moving into the 16th, the guidance is swell. Swell, the imagery that I get with it is like a wave, like big swells. Also, like for whatever reason, like how when wood goes into water, it swells up. Like lots of things with water swell up. And then also feeling swell, like I feel swell. But I think that comes from those other things.
This ties in very well to the conjunction, I would say. This is one of the best ones, I would say. Is because Jupiter expands everything, it swells everything. And in this case, the negative side is floods. So we're already seeing that in Australia, and the conjunction is working, so to speak. So that's the negative side. We can see more of those in this year, during this year, definitely. Even a little bit later, during
A
this
big
cycle.
wave.
And waves, waves sometimes are with the floods as well, so that can be it. And the feeling as well, Jupiter Neptune can increase that, and unfortunately can increase that through those spiritual drugs. So I just want to put out a disclaimer, because it's really easy to justify during this conjunction these spiritual drugs to yourself, like, oh, they want me to do it, or this is for my highest good. I guess is one of the biggest ones. So
Check if there's a fog in front of that. What voice are you listening to? Okay, if the voice that you're listening to inside doesn't love you so fucking deeply, that's not the voice to listen to.
I would say also, if the voice wants you to escape something, usually not the right one.
It's not the one.
I think I had to really learn this past few years really strongly. It was painful, and now it's like I feel like it's a test with this conjunction, this kind of escapism voice. Not good.
Well, I think in the grand scheme of things, also the universe is starting to make you decide, what voice do you really want to listen to? What do you want to move into the future with inside of your mind and inside of your heart? These are big questions.
Big questions, guys. Big conjunction, big week.
Well, if you made it here to the
you can make it anywhere.
You can do anything.
Okay. That's the week.
That's the week. We hope that you've enjoyed listening, and if you've been watching on YouTube, we hope that you've enjoyed watching as well. We have a lot of fun doing this.
Extreme amounts of fun.
I speak for myself. I assume.
Then I'm like, not so much.
I want to fight with her, actually.
God.
Oh my goodness.
Guys, keep your pinky toe in the ground. Connect to God. Connect to the universe. Be creative. I don't know.
Watch out for fog.
Watch out for fog.
Let go of what no longer is you. No longer you. Whatever you no longer want to be. You. Let go of that. Be done with it. Move on. Your life will change for the better. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at The Cosmic Adults and TikTok at The Cosmic Adults. And if you have any feedback for the show, you want to be part of it, whatever, email us. It's not thecosmicadults@gmail.com. It's cosmicadults@gmail.com. But you can also send us a message on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. We're here to chat. Cosmic Adults out.
Cosmic Adults out.